first thing we want to do is that we need to connect this fella to the speakers.
Because you generally, when you work with electronic devices, you need to turn them on, right? And to turn it on, you need this magical substance called electricity, right? So how are we gonna do that? Okay, so everyone can so way with words. So can you all tell me where the power plug is, like the connector? Right there. Okay, this one, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is a very standard kettle plug, right? So yeah, it's called a kettle plug. So the connector for it is this. So this is very standard. So actually, even if you this. Yep, you see that? Hello. Yeah, so you'll see these three kind of holes here. Then this is your standard power power cable and all that. So you can actually find this in hardware stores and all that if you ever lose this. So proprietary. So it's different from your laptop ones where there's a barrel jack and then there's an adapter, that big power brick that you need to bring around. This one just goes direct. Okay? So this one's very obvious lah. So the
one thing about cables is that you need to make sure the amperage is correct. The amperage limit is correct.
Okay, but this one,
most of the time it should be fine.
Yeah, I mean this one is
it's relatively low power.
Okay.
So where does it go? It goes in the square hole.
Technically it's a trapezium. Alright, but okay, then we turn it on here.
Oh, so your literature major.
Yeah. Okay, so now this is the power, so we have to turn it on here. And I mean, I know I'm pointing out the obvious things, but there have been times in the past when EML folks set it up, then why no sound is because like this thing is not on. Like everything is flying perfectly, then you just forget to turn it on. Okay?
And if you switch this one on and the power light still doesn't come on, can you? Where's the next place you look?
Then where?
Correct.
Socket. Okay? So, very simple. And you're probably thinking I'm just goofing around, right? But like, honestly, this is how you build the mentality of checking the chain of connections. Like, where did something go wrong? Because if really something goes wrong, then you need to know how to diagnose and troubleshoot and not panic lah. Because there's so many things, especially if you are first looking at a mixer like this, you might get overwhelmed. So if we don't have power, then what's the logical thing? Then first you check, is this secure? Then you just trace there, is that thing on? Then if that's not work, then is the wall one on? Then you just trace. Okay, very simple. Okay, next.
Okay, next we need to connect the speakers. And the speakers have a cable.
Okay, so these speakers are what are known as passive speakers, which are the opposite of aggressive speakers. Okay, of active speakers. Okay, so the difference between passive and active, who can tell me? Yeah. Okay.
Has maybe sensitivity threshold?
Okay, I mean, before we even get into sensitivity threshold, the main thing is passive speakers don't have to be powered directly. So if you look at these speakers, we don't have any power plug. Like, the only power is to the mixer. Okay, you see at the back, there's only one connector there. So that's the main thing. Passive speakers don't have to be powered.
Similar for most in-ears and headphones?
Yes, your headphones are passive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, your wired headphones are passive. Your wireless headphones are technically active.
Yeah, but battery.
So as you can see, the only connector is
the one at the bottom.
the one at the bottom there. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where you would plug it on this end.
This is a giant headphone.
Yeah.
I mean, basically.
Don't put it up to you.
If you have a pair of this,
Careful.
you will break your neck.
Yeah.
Like if you have a pair of these, you become Beethoven.
Huh? Okay.
So this is the cable.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of cable is this? Simple. Quarter inch. Okay. Technically quarter inch tip sleeve. Yeah. TS cable. Okay. So where does this go? Speakers. Okay. Yeah. So it's these two, right? That's what you're talking about, right? Okay. So this one, which one should I plug it into? Left? Okay, it's on my left. How about your audience's right? Right? Yeah, so that's why you always use the orientation that the sound is meant to be presented to. So because you are the audience and this is facing this is the right speaker. So this goes here. Okay? Yeah, so same for the other side. Okay, so same for the other side, we don't have to...
Are you sure that
is it? Huh? Where? Oh, okay. Okay, so the other side, of course, is the left one. So you just plug it in. This part is pretty self-explanatory. That's that one. Okay, so this side is for your left. It goes here. So for this mixer specifically, it's very important that you all use this. Because if you look to the right here, you actually have two more of these ports here, right? What are these? What does it say there? No. Okay, mono is what it says here. But what does it say at the top? Monitors, okay? I mean, theoretically, we could plug it there, but we're not going to get a strong signal because these outputs here are meant for monitors. Which in our case we don't actually have. Monitors are the speakers that face the artist or the stage. Yeah. So especially those performing in Omniverse, when you perform, right, we'll have what are called the house speakers, the speakers that are facing your audience. So these would be the equivalent. And you will have your own monitors for the stage. So those are facing you, so you can hear yourself on stage. Why do we need this? Why can't we just use the outside? Hello, hello. Why can't we just use the speakers that are facing there and just listen from there?
Because they're practically there.
Yes, exactly. They're facing away, so what you're hearing is actually the reflection of the sound bouncing back against the wall at the end of the auditorium and back into you. It's not accurate. So that's why we need monitors. But because these speakers are passive, we need an output that can drive them sufficiently. Because if your signal is not strong enough, then the speakers will give a very weak sound. Because these are not powered in the first place. So that's why we need to use these outputs. These outputs in this mixer are specifically designed to output the audio signal at a high enough level for these speakers to sufficiently work and like move up and down. Okay? Yeah, so we don't use these. These we could actually use if we wanted to like plug to monitors that were here, like facing me, if we had them. Okay? So that's just for your note. Okay, what's next, Ben?
There's also this red and white,
Yeah, what is this?
which
Anyone knows what it's called? Old school speakers. Actually, it's
No,
not
this
that old
is-
school. They're still in use.
tape. This is to go to tape.
Tape.
You can actually output to tape. So if you have none of you would use tape. You would
Okay.
use probably a
cassettes, yeah.
digital recorder or a Zoom digital recorder, and then you would take from the cable from here and put into the digital recorder.
Yeah, so that's an output that's meant for recording. So this mixer actually can do a lot of things really at this stage. So let's say you want to record the output of everything passing through, like whoever's singing, whatever synths, then you can just connect an external recorder, then you'll use these two. Okay? Those are record out.
So let's start plugging in our first thing.
Okay,
Let's
first
plug
thing,
in
let's plug in.
a microphone so people
Okay.
can hear you.
Okay, so this is something we've gone through last semester. But what kind of connectors do microphones generally use? What? Sorry?
RCA cables.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
No, just
On
now
mic-
the one you were actually.
Sorry?
Oh yeah, this one is RCA. Yes, the red and white is RCA.
Yeah,
but
this is
this one is.
But what is this? XLR. So microphones generally use this, right? Okay. Okay, so I mean we can pick any channel. I mean if you see the top here, you see all the guitar logo, all that. It's quite arbitrary. I mean there's some additional functionality here which we won't really need to get into, but you can just plug into any of the connectors here with the XLR. Okay, so I'm just going to pick first one. Yeah, wow, yeah. Okay, wait, before you plug in anything, make sure the levels, so this one I have to tilt it up, are 0, so or negative infinity technically. Yeah, so you see here, turn it all the way down. Okay, if not, there might be a pop sound. Generally, with XLR, less chance of that, but just be safe. Let's turn all of them down. Okay, so here we go, plug here.
I'm gonna help you move this out of the way so that it doesn't.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. So, mic is plugged in. Yes?
What's the phantom?
Okay, phantom power, let's revise. We've gone through this actually last semester, but so
like,
phantom? Sorry?
is it the same thing
Which one?
in the
This one?
red? But
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
That one.
It's the same.
It's actually on.
Yeah, it's on.
Who
For
on?
no reason.
Who on? Oop, hope that's not
But
fried.
it's okay. It won't.
Wanna.
Fine. It's an
Scissors.
SM58. It'll
It'll be okay.
it'll outlast the nuclear war. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so the phantom power is basically, is to power condenser microphones. Okay. In this case, we are plugging this Shure SM58, which is a dynamic mic. So dynamic mics don't require additional power, so we turn it off. Okay. So yeah, but if you use a condenser mic like the one there, then we need. But generally for live performances, we won't use these kinds of mics. These are meant for studio use because they're really sensitive. And you can imagine in a live performance, you have a really sensitive mic on stage. Yes, maybe your vocalist will sound nice, but you also pick up the people backstage. You pick up a lot of bleed because it's a good mic. The better the mic, the more noise you get. Because it's a paradox. Yeah.
If you drop it, you'll break.
Yeah, you drop it, you break. These are fragile. These are indestructible. It's like a Nokia. Do you know what a Nokia is? Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, so there we go. We have the mic. Why no sound? Why no sound? Sorry?
You didn't turn on the mic?
Level.
No, there's no SM58s have no switch. So level. Okay. So who said level? Alright, right? So we have to turn this up, right? Because this, so it's I mean, mixers look complicated, but once you kind of recognize it's all just like one reservoir. So this is one strip, and this is another strip. So this is just one channel. So just go down from here and turn it up. Mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test. Why no sound? The other one, the master is down. So master controls all the overall volume of all of these, and the red one is down. So because of all the precautions, we turn it down, but let's turn it up. Mic test, 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Okay, there we go. We have a microphone now. Okay, so now look at all these green knobs here. What is this? What are the green knobs? It says what? Low
Oh, I can feel it.
and high. Wait. Low and high. So what does that mean? What is that supposed to be?
Sounds like it's referring to frequency.
Yes, frequency of ranges of frequency. So that is actually an equalizer or EQ. So those of you who played around with Ableton, you have your EQ3, EQ8, channel EQ. This is basically that, but on one of the channels here. So with this, I can make my voice bassier by turning up the low. So now it's very boomy. Or I can cut all the lows in my voice, so I become a bit tinnier. Yeah, like that, like that, like that. You can't really hear the bass. Can normalize it back to the center. So this is how you adjust the tone of the voice and all that, like that. Okay. Same for the top one. Top one controls the high frequency, so the crispness. So I can make it more muffled, like that. Now I'm more muffled. I sound like I'm in a submarine or something, like that. Okay. So what are these controls for? Because why can't we just leave them at baseline? Okay, well, it's because different people have different, the voices of everyone are different, and everyone has different frequency composition in their voice. So some people might have really, really deep, rumbly voices, in which case, in a live, after you kind of amplify their voices out through a PA system, it might sound very muddy and boomy, and you can hear too much of the bass and all that. So in that case, if someone is really talking with too bassy a voice and it's kind of affecting the rest of the mix, then you can cut the bass a little bit, just trim it off a bit. So now you have a little bit more clarity because you get rid of all the mud. Then if you want to like kind of make their voices a bit more crisp, you could turn up the highs like that. Then all their kind of consonants and all that, the sibilant sound, or plosives, all these sounds will come out a little bit more. So this is how you can like kind of make a signal clearer on here. So if you look at this, actually each channel has this kind of simple 2-band EQ. It's called 2 bands because we have high and low. Some other mixers you might have high, mid, and low, and then the middle range has a frequency selector because the mid range is very wide. You can select the things, but this one doesn't have. Okay, so this is just high and low, simple enough, but it does the job. Okay, so there's our EQ controls. Okay, mic and line. Okay, let's take a look at the top here. We have this button here that says mic and line. So you see for the mics, it sort of looks like a top hat, and then for line it's like a squished top hat, right? So that actually refers to whether the button is pressed or unpressed. Okay, it's just a graphical representation of the button states. Currently, the button is not pressed. That's because this is a mic, and therefore we set it to a mic, to accept a mic signal. So, what is a line signal then? If this is a mic signal is simple enough. It's just a signal that comes out from a mic, right? How about line signal? It's for instruments, but specifically what kind of instruments? Guitar? Okay. Keyboards, yes. Guitars, no. Okay? Yeah, so let me explain. Okay, so the reason why we have these input controls, it's because different input devices give off different signal strengths. So a microphone like this is not powered. There's no power source. There's no battery in here or anything. Therefore, the signal it outputs is actually at a lower level because there's no kind of, it's not powered. Therefore, it's just directly plugged in. Therefore, the mixer has settings to accommodate this low signal, so it can like kind of send it out at the optimum volume. There's a lot of science behind it. I won't get into it, but generally, if you're using a mic, you use this. Okay, next.
What happens if you?
Yeah. What happens?
Did I put line?
Wait, will die or not? Mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test. Mic test, it doesn't even work anymore.
Back to mic.
Mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test. Okay? Yeah, so different signal levels for different uses. Okay? This mixer doesn't have gain, right?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, then never mind. It's okay? Yeah. Alright, so just now you mentioned guitar and keyboards. Those are different. Okay, so maybe we can go on to channel 2.
Okay. No, we don't.
maybe
This is
not.
not here.
Yeah.
Actually, we do have a mixer that has.
It's just a-
but it's just not here.
Where's it gone?
Is there power down here?
Oh, this is power.
Yeah, this power.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. So, questions?
okay.
Okay, so there we go. We have where's the why no sound? Why no sound? Why no sound? Yes, okay, got sound. Okay, right. So just now you mentioned guitars and keyboards. So what's the difference between a guitar and a synthesizer? It's a very big leading question that doesn't lead anywhere. But what is the difference? Yeah, and think back to power, because that's what we've been talking. How are we powering things? How are we not powering things?
Yeah, Victor?
Yeah.
One hour of constant signal and half a dozen.
Constant signal. Okay, it's not actually it doesn't actually have to do with the constancy of the signal, because ultimately a guitar and a synth can both output very varied signals. The difference is in how the instruments are powered. Those electric guitar players here, do you plug a guitar into the wall when you play your guitar? No, right? You sort of just look at that here and represent. Yeah. Okay, there's the guitar there. Do you plug a guitar into a power socket? No, right? It just works when you plug it into an amp. You don't have to power it. But that also means it's kind of in line with a mic signal. It's an unpowered passive device. An electric guitar is passive because it's not powered directly. Therefore, the signal it outputs would be correspondingly lower because there's no power there. Okay, therefore we need to accommodate for those signals when we are plugging them into mixers or audio interfaces. A synthesizer, is a synthesizer powered? Yes. So you see here at the back, I have this, in this case it's a USB cable, because this is powered by USB, but you have synths that are powered by those barrel jacks. Synths, you generally have to power them by plugging them into the wall. So a synthesizer requires what setting? So yeah, this is my MicroFreak synthesizer. It's connected via power. So what kind of signal does it output? Line, yes. So line refers to the types of signals that are output by active devices or actively powered devices like synthesizers. Synthesizers are all actively powered. Even if there's a battery inside, it's actively powered. Okay, guitars are passive. So yeah, there's differences in how you would work with them. So let's plug in this synthesizer. Okay. Okay, so with these two, so I mean this one, you see here. So this one is only one. It's a mono aural synthesizer, so it's only one output. There's no stereo. So I'll just plug it into here. Okay, there we go. Plugged in. Then for this end, we will plug it into, oh, this one is not an XLR, right? So therefore, we go with the 1/4 inch input here. Okay, so channel 2 is our synthesizer layer. Okay, so what else do we need to do now? Just now you're talking about what kind of signal a synthesizer outputs, right? Line or mic. So a synthesizer is not a mic, synthesizer is a line level instrument. So we press this button. Okay, so we activate line. So we turn it up now. Okay, so line level instruments can be quite loud. So generally on my synthesizer here, I have the master volume knob, here. I'm going to turn it from 0 and then I'm going to slowly press a key until it goes up. Okay, why no sound? Why no sound? Why no sound? Right? Let's check. The mic is still working. Synthesizer. Let's change preset. Ah, there we go. Sound. Okay, there we go. Synthesizer plugged in. Okay, there we go. Line instrument. Okay, so next.
Next, guitar.
Okay, guitar. So that, you have your guitar there, right? So let's plug it in. Right? Okay. So this, I believe this mixer doesn't have a specific instrument level setting. So we just use mic, right? Is it? Yeah. Is it for here?
Yeah, it's just mic.
Yeah, mic. Okay, so yeah, sometimes you have also, basically there's 3 different types of signals. You have line level, which is like this kind of powered devices. You have instrument level, which is like a guitar or those things with like electromagnetic pickups, and you have mic. In this case, we don't have an instrument level setting, so therefore we are just going to use channel 3 and leave it at mic. Okay, yeah.
Do I need a
Yeah, this is a cable and plug.
technically electronic pickup? It's also
Those are still passive because they are not actively powered.
stop plugging.
Yeah, we're not plugging in here.
Okay, yes. Why is that guitar not making any sound? Because it's not plugged in. That's right.
You'll be surprised at how often that's the actual problem. Just never plug. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. Let's turn up that guitar. And if you listen, right, we actually have EQ control over the guitar. So I can cut out the bass. Can make it a bit sharper. Yeah, there we go. Very simple, haphazard, unplanned jam. But there we go. Guitar into here. So we have like kind of 3 different types of things plugged in now. We have the mic, synth, and guitar. These are generally things that we as EML would plug in. What else do we plug in to our systems here?
The last one.
The last one, the most important one.
Yes.
Laptop. Okay, yeah. Okay, but if you think about it, do we plug the laptop directly to the speakers? So, sorry, to the mixer, most of the time? No, right? I mean, most of y'all, if you're working on your own laptops, you'll probably be just using the headphone jack, so no problem with that. But when we set up the laptop here, do you see us directly connecting our laptops to here? No. What do we use to connect? An interface, yes. So, this is what Ben is going to show you all.
Which is left, which is right.
Okay. So there we go. This is our Mackie Onyx audio interface. Okay, what kind of signal does an audio interface output? Think back to the powering situation. How is the audio interface powered? Yeah, it's a line signal because it is powered. It's powered over USB by the laptop. Some higher end audio interfaces might even like plug into the wall. Like those with more channels generally, those will, are powered like just directly from the power socket. But case in point, audio interfaces output at a line level. Okay, so audio interfaces, what other things sets them apart from these other things like the synth, the guitar that we've been using, and the mic? Particularly have to do with the back of the audio interface. What's the difference here compared to everything else? So far, everything we've plugged in has only required one cable, right? Because everything so far has been basically a mono-aural instrument or device. Audio interfaces generally output in stereo because you have your left and your right, okay? Because they basically process your computer's audio, and your computer's audio is also stereo. You have your Ableton Live output that's in stereo, okay? Some higher-end audio interfaces even have 4 outputs, 6 outputs, but this one, the simple one, is just 2, your standard stereo outputs. Okay, so therefore, we need 2 cables to connect an audio interface to a mixer like this. And conveniently, if you look at the top here, we have stereo channels on the mixer. So the ones we've been using so far, these first 3, these are mono channels because these are just meant to accommodate your devices that only require 1 output. But for audio interfaces, because they have 2, we have these very convenient LR outputs here. So you see here, it's denoted by this keyboard icon because some big synthesizers, most of the time, they are stereo. But audio interfaces are stereo too. So these inputs here, this one, and this one, these are meant for your stereo devices. Therefore, you have to plug your left output of the audio interface into here and your right output into here. Okay? This is left. Here. Okay. Right. Okay, there we go. So, we've the audio interface plugged in. So, Ash, can you play some music? Okay, so audio interfaces generally have this big knob that controls, surprise, surprise, the volume, right? So, when I turn it up, okay, why no sound? Why no sound? Diagnose, please.
Wait, hold on.
Why no sound? Yeah, volume on the mixer, okay? So, there we go. And we actually have control over the bass and all. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. We have now we have an audio interface plugged in. Okay, so this is generally what runs our EML shows. Okay, or we have a laptop that then is plugged to one of these, and then these will be plugged into our sound system. Okay. Are some of y'all wondering why can't we just use a 3.5 output from your laptop to here? Have y'all thought about that? Like, why can't we just use the headphone output on the laptop and plug directly into here? Anyone? Because I mean, generally in your home systems, if it's just like a desktop, you would just do that, right? There's no big deal. Okay, anyone can tell me why? What's wrong with using that, especially for live audio? Okay, good. Latency Latency, and actually on top of that, processing power. So, I mean, this is a bit of a broad generalization.
And also just quality as well.
Yeah,
general
quality
as well.
Yeah, okay. But audio interfaces essentially act as almost like a GPU, like your graphic processing unit for your computer, but for audio, okay? So whatever processing of audio that when you connect the interface actually happens on here rather than on your laptop. So it offloads that processing from your laptop so your laptop can do other things, like run your Ableton session, run the kind of clip launching, run all the synths. It's only the audio playback and audio processing that happens here. So it offloads it here, and in a live scenario where you don't want your software just crashing on you in the middle of your set, right? This helps to mitigate against that. And like Ash said, there's also an increase in audio quality when you use this. The headphone output on your laptop is fine for everyday use, it's fine for listening, but it's not quite sufficient to properly drive a full like kind of Ableton Live set. Or rather, you can do it, but sound quality will suffer. When you use an interface like this, you can immediately tell the sound is just fuller, yeah, in terms of that. And it's also a little bit more secure, because if you look at these, right, these 1/4 inch jacks, right, they connect a lot more securely than your 3.5mm. A 3.5mm headphone jack can just be kind of swiped, and then like the laptop falls off the table, and then the thing comes disconnected. This one is a lot harder to do that because they're a lot more secure. So yeah, that's why we would generally use audio interfaces to output audio from a computer when we are in a live electronic music performance setting, right? Okay, and there we have it. That's the interface. That is more or less the audio setup process.